Do you honestly think that little plastic card or that sleek app on your phone is saving you money? Let me tell you a brutal truth right out of the gate. It is not. That card was meticulously designed by elite behavioral psychologists. Their sole mission in life is to force you to spend an average of 30% more than you ever intended to. And the funniest, most tragic part? You actually smile and say thank you to them for the privilege. Huge multi-billion-dollar brands do not give out free gifts because they love your pretty face. They are systematically turning your hard-earned money into a literal video game. Think about it. You deposit cash, you grind through boring shopping missions, you level up your status from silver to gold or platinum, and then you finally unlock your precious rewards. We will dive deep into the 3 massive psychological traps they use to hijack your mind today. And trust me, the final reason is the most terrifying one, because it is secretly shaping how you make every single major decision in your life right now. But don't panic just yet. By the end of this conversation, I am going to give you 3 dead simple, practical tools to completely break free from their mind control and reclaim your financial freedom. Before we get to that, let me humble myself and tell you a deeply embarrassing story. I am not standing here pretending to be some genius guru who was above it all. I was the ultimate sucker. 2 years ago, I was traveling for work. I was sitting in an airport terminal, exhausted, starving, and desperately needing a place to rest. I saw the Delta VIP lounge. It looked beautiful, it looked exclusive, but my membership status was just a few hundred points short of entering that paradise. To unlock that sweet, shiny platinum status, I needed to spend a bit more money with them before the deadline. So what did my brilliant brain do? I opened my laptop right there in the terminal. I booked a completely unnecessary random weekend flight for the following month to a city I didn't even want to visit. I spent $450 on a ticket just to get enough points to cross the finish line. I got my platinum status. I walked into that VIP lounge with my head held high. I sat down on a fancy leather chair. I poured myself a drink, and as I sat there eating a tiny, dry, lukewarm chicken wing, the reality hit me like a slap in the face. I had just spent $450 of cold, hard cash to get a free chicken wing and a slightly softer chair for 2 hours. I felt utterly ridiculous. I was a grown adult completely manipulated by virtual numbers on a screen. Let us break down exactly what happened inside my brain and what happens inside yours every single day. It all comes down to a tiny chemical called dopamine. This is the pleasure hormone. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors survived by gathering berries and hunting animals. When they accumulated food for the winter, their brains flooded them with dopamine. It was a survival mechanism. It kept them alive. Fast forward to today, we do not need to hunt mammoths anymore, but our primitive caveman brains have not evolved. They still get that identical, intoxicating rush of dopamine whenever we accumulate things. Except now, instead of gathering delicious wild berries, we're frantically gathering digital stars on a Starbucks app or virtual points on a Sephora card. The loyalty card in your wallet is quite literally just a modern digital version of a primitive gathering basket. And these brands know exactly how to trigger that ancient brain wiring. They love using progress bars. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that little circle on your screen that fills up as you buy more things. When your brain sees a progress bar that's 80% full, it goes absolutely wild. It creates an intense, uncomfortable tension. You feel a desperate burning itch to complete the circle. You'll willingly pull out your wallet and spend an extra $5 on a random pastry you don't even want just to fill the bar and get a free $3 coffee. You walk out of the store grinning, thinking you just beat the system. You think you won, but you didn't. The house always wins. Once you finally climb the mountain and reach that premium or gold status, a new psychological trap snaps shut around your ankles. You develop a fierce, almost irrational obsession with protecting that title at all costs. Let me give you a very clear, everyday example. Imagine you desperately need a new pair of running shoes. You do your research online. Store A is a local shop and they're selling the exact shoes you want for $80 cash. Store B is a massive chain store. They're selling the identical shoes for $100. However, Store B has a loyalty program and they promise to give you 500 bonus points if you buy from them. Do you know what the vast majority of people do? They choose Store B. They willingly hand over $100 instead of $80. Why? Because they feel an intense loyalty to their membership card. They completely ignore the undeniable fact that they just threw away $20 of real physical currency in exchange for meaningless digital points. Suddenly, you get a bright red notification on your phone. The text says your reward points will expire at the very end of the month. Fear strikes your heart. This is the ultimate move to force you to spend money. You had absolutely no desire to go shopping today. You didn't need a single thing. But because of the overwhelming pressure of FOMO, the fear of missing out, you jump in your car and swipe your card. You're terrified of losing those points. Let's pull back the curtain on the human brain once again to understand this madness. Psychological research has proven something deeply profound. The psychological pain of losing $10 is twice as intense as the joy of gaining $10. We're hardwired to hate losing things far more than we love winning them. So when your retail app sends an aggressive alert saying you're about to lose 500 points at the end of the month, your loss aversion instinct screams in panic. Your logical brain completely shuts down. You rush out to the mall to buy a random, useless $50 jacket that you'll probably leave in your closet forever, all just to rescue a bundle of points that are only worth about $5. It makes absolutely zero mathematical sense, yet we do it over and over. These brands have successfully created their own exclusive currencies. And here's the kicker. They own the bank, they write the rules, and they can change the value of that currency whenever they feel like it. Think about how many people gladly deposit $20 or $50 directly into a brand's app just to get double points on a Tuesday. The moment your real money enters that app, a dangerous psychological shift happens. Your brain instantly categorizes that money as already gone, already spent. It becomes monopoly money. The next morning, you walk down your street, there's a beautiful, independent local coffee shop right across from your house. The coffee is amazing and the owner is incredibly friendly, but you walk right past it. You walk 3 blocks away in the freezing rain to stand in a long line at Starbucks. Why? Because your brain tells you, well, my money's already sitting inside the Starbucks app, so I might as well use it. You choose convenience and artificial loyalty over supporting a local business. And meanwhile, corporations sit on billions of dollars of cash unspent on apps. It's a massive, completely interest-free loan funded entirely by millions of unsuspecting customers like you and me. We tolerate this because human beings have a deep, instinctual desire to climb the social ladder. We want to feel important. We want status. Loyalty programs exploit this deep vulnerability beautifully by dividing us into tiers: silver, gold, platinum, diamond. Let us be completely honest with ourselves for a moment. You do not actually need that free, slightly stale croissant at the airport lounge. You do not care about the free water bottle. What your ego craves is the feeling of superiority. You want the regular passengers in the economy line to look at you with envy as you casually stroll past the velvet rope into the exclusive VIP zone. It is pure vanity wrapped up in a shiny loyalty program. This brings us to a fundamental law of the modern universe. It is called the law of asymmetric benefit. If a massive, multi-billion-dollar conglomerate designs a program and offers it to you completely for free, you need to wake up. You are not the customer in that transaction. You are the product. The tiny things they give you, like a free latte or a cheap upgrade, are just breadcrumbs. What they are taking from you in return is priceless. They are tracking your intimate spending data, learning your daily habits, mapping your behavior, and locking you tightly inside their corporate ecosystem. That data is worth hundreds of times more to them than the cheap coffee they handed you. When we fall into this trap, we are suffering from a classic psychological delusion known as the sunk cost fallacy. We tell ourselves that because we have already spent so much money with a brand, we have to keep spending money there to make it worth it. But money that is already spent is dead and gone. It's never coming back. The points you have accumulated are just a ghost of the money you already lost. You must never, under any circumstances, use the points you currently have as an excuse to justify spending more money in the future. Another dangerous trap is called the goal gradient effect. Think of it like a runner approaching the finish line. The closer a human being gets to a specific goal, the faster they run and the more aggressive they become. When you realize you only need one single coffee to get your next reward, your brain goes totally blind. You will eagerly speed up your spending. You will gladly pay a premium price just to cross that arbitrary finish line. You need to train yourself to view reward points as random pennies you happen to find on the sidewalk. They're a nice little bonus if you stumble across them, but they should never become a goal you actively chase. Let us bust 3 major comforting myths that we all tell ourselves to feel better about this. The first huge cliché I always hear people say is that they're somehow outsmarting the system or hacking the brands. Let me be real with you. You cannot beat the house in a casino that they built from scratch. You might feel incredibly smart because you saved up enough points to get a free flight to Hawaii, but what you're conveniently forgetting are the 10 previous times you intentionally chose a much more expensive flight with that specific airline, completely ignoring the cheaper budget options just to loyalty farm those points. They calculated the math perfectly. They won long before you ever boarded that plane. The second common cliché is people saying they just swiped the card blindly because it's harmless and doesn't cost anything. That is a lie. It costs you your freedom of choice. Loyalty programs create massive, invisible switching costs. You might wake up on a Saturday morning genuinely craving a unique drink from a new local cafe down the street, but instead you drag your feet to the big chain store because you're stuck in the loop of trying to maximize your points. You are no longer choosing what you actually want. The card is making the decision for you. The third and final cliché is the belief that reward points are a legitimate financial asset. Let me set the record straight. Reward points are the absolute worst currency on the planet. They suffer from massive, unpredictable inflation controlled entirely by the whim of the company that issued them. A brand can decide tomorrow morning to double the number of points required to get a free drink. It happens all the time, and it's called devaluation. You are hoovering up and hoarding a currency that has absolutely zero real-world value, zero backing, and can be wiped out instantly with a single line of code. So, how do we fight back against this psychological warfare? How do we take control of our minds and our money again? Here are 3 simple, powerful actions you can take starting today. First, implement the reverse ROI rule. The next time you find yourself about to buy something extra just to get points or save your status, open the calculator on your phone and ask yourself a very cold question. How much real cash am I forcing myself to spend right now just to get $1 of fake virtual currency? If you discover you're spending $20 of real money just to get $1 of points, that's a measly 5% cashback rate. Now ask yourself the ultimate question. Would I buy this item right now if it was simply discounted by 5%? If the answer is no, put the item down immediately and walk out of the store. Second, perform a ruthless notification detox. Open the settings on your phone right now and completely turn off all push notifications and email marketing from every single retail app you own. Cut off the supply line. Stop allowing them to beam dopamine triggers directly into your brain while you're trying to work or relax. The apps should only be opened when you have a pre-existing, conscious, real-world need to buy something. You dictate the terms, not their marketing department. And third, and most importantly, start measuring your worth with cold, hard cash. Repeat this to yourself until it becomes your financial mantra. There is absolutely no membership card, no gold status, and no platinum title on this earth that looks as classy, sophisticated, and powerful as a massive, healthy balance in your actual bank account. Stop being fiercely loyal to massive corporations that view you nothing more than a statistic on a spreadsheet. It is time to start being fiercely loyal to your own wallet, your own future, and your own financial freedom.